How's everyone doing today? My name is Anthony King, and I want to be your next student body president. I'm currently a junior here at the University of Central Florida studying nursing. Currently in SGA, I am the Vice President of Senate, also known as the Pro Temp, where I solely work with student organizations like the ones out there right now. I'm also the Vice Chairman of the Activity and Service Fee Committee, which is the committee that allocates over $18.9 million to your student funds. With our platform, once we declared on March 1st at 5:01 p.m., we launched it right away because we wanted to make sure you guys knew what we stand for, so you guys knew everything about us. The biggest things that I like to stand for, as being a nursing major, is definitely health initiatives. Being able to have 24-hour services on campus for any emergency at any time at all. Within student government, we just currently passed the alcohol emergency policy. So the next step that I want to go is being able to pass the medical MSC next, and just being able to have more initiatives and more programming with the Wellness Center. My other big thing for myself is just awareness. Awareness of SGA and all the great service it does. If I were to shoot out what ASF was, not many people would know what it is, and it's something that has always bothered me as a student government leader. So just being able to sit down and have a conversation with every single student here, and just being able to get who we are and what student government is all about.
And hi everyone, hope you guys all enjoyed your spring break. I'm Katz. I'm the SGA Vice Presidential Hopeful this year. Currently, I'm the Deputy Pro Temp 4, so I work under Anthony in the Pro Temp's office, assisting him with speaking to all the RSOs and just reaching out to people. I'm also serve as the president of AEPI, and in the past I was the chair of the Conference Registration and Travel Committee, which handed out over $400,000 to students who were going on conferences and needed help finding them. Just a few things that I want to go over is I'm a criminal justice major here, so one major thing that I want to speak about is the safety on our campus. More blue lights, better lighting around classrooms. These are all fears that students have expressed to me, and it's just something I'd like to work towards. Also, if we can improve traditions, doing things such as a night walk, which is where the football team would be able to walk through the tailgate with the cheerleaders and the band. It would just create more of a sense of community and get them pumped up, as well as the fans for the upcoming game that night. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Hello everyone, thank you guys for coming out to show your support. My name is Cortez Whatley. I'm a junior majoring in public administration and legal studies. I've been a part of SGA for the past 3 years, serving on the 42nd Senate, where I formulated my working relationship with the lovely Miss Brill here, and also served in the 43rd Student Senate, and this was the most recent Attorney General, in which I served as the legal advisor to not only the student body president, but to any student and to any student government agent that had any questions concerning Constitution or student body statutes. I'm here today because I believe that students do deserve a president that is going to put student issues first. I believe I have the insight, the knowledge, and perspective to be that person, and that's why I want to do this, and I have so much to give back to the university that's given it to me, and so that's why I'm going to be your next student body president.
My name is Rachel Brill. I am a junior majoring in interdisciplinary studies with minors in nonprofit management and leadership studies. My involvement with UCF all started when I attended alternative spring break my freshman year, and I actually just got back from a trip recently. It was a remarkable experience that truly showed me the impact that one individual can have on this community, and that has further empowered my current involvement with UCF. I serve on the President's Leadership Council as well as the Vice President of Community Involvement for the Pan-Atlantic community, being the liaison between the 11 chapter organizations and planning our own service initiatives, as well as serving as the Student Director of Volunteer UCF and managing the largest OSI executive board in the office. It's been a remarkable experience, and my drive is to really give back and make a huge impact. I'm here because I want to bring servant leadership back to student government, and I know that me and Cortez can do that.
And one thing that we want to ensure, especially preparing for this debate, is that student government cultivates an environment that fosters successful, efficient, and sustainable organizations. So we will be releasing our full platform in a live forum so we can give student input tomorrow night, 9:30 at Moat. All of you, please feel welcome to come. It's going to be a great event. But some things that are specifically tailored to organizations that we want to make sure that we get across and are a priority on our platforms are making sure that promotion of said organizations, avenues for which organizations can have effective meetings, and also looking into and working with the student union to create a meeting space and storage space for registered student organizations.
Our slogan is your vision, our mission, because we believe that it is imperative to listen to each individual student's needs and make sure that that's heard throughout our administration and make that impact here.
registered student organizations have you been a part of, and why did you decide to join them?
Well, a couple registered student organizations that I've joined since coming here are, the largest one is Chabad. I joined the first night that I came in at the ice cream social. It was just something that meant a lot to me, being Jewish, and it was the first thing I saw when I came out. My cousin was in it, so he introduced me to the then president, Daniel Sieve. I spoke to him for about 20 minutes at the ice cream social, joined that. A few other ones that I did look into, volunteer UCF at first, and another one that I looked into was Hillel. I went to a few meetings for Hillel, but it wasn't what I was looking for, so that's why I stuck with Chabad. And
a few organizations that I've been a part of since I've been at UCF is as being a nursing student, the Pre-Association of Nursing has really helped me out with meeting other people that are in the same major, trying to get through. Even though I was rejected the first time, they're still great people. A couple other organizations, I am also a part of the BOD too, as being a Jewish person. I really wasn't raised in the Jewish religion, so when I finally came to college and Chabad was there for me, it was a great way to learn a lot more things and stuff, and hopefully I'm actually going to be going to Birthright this summer. Another organization I'm also part of is Bar People. As being an open gay, it was something that I first came out during college, so being a part of People has really helped me out a lot with coming out and having extra family there. And also, I am a part of a fraternity with Theta Chi, and my brothers have always been for me, and I always want to be part of the Greek life because I saw the great opportunities and the leadership that they had for me.
I'll just touch on that a little bit more. I said earlier that I am the president of AEPI 2, so that's just another registered student organization. And being a part of those really showed me that some of the troubles that RSOs go through. So that's why one of our major things is helping out these RSOs and streamlining the process so that it's easier for them to fill out their paperwork, get funding, all these types of things.
Thank you.
Alright, the very first organization that I joined as a freshman coming to this university was the College Democrats organization. It was something that I found as an political interest of mine, and I really, coming from high school, did not know very much about politics, didn't very know much about issues. It was something that, it was just an interest, and I followed that interest. Eventually, I became the director of political activism, leading groups to different states as far as Virginia, DC, to not only lobby for the concerns and issues that were important to us, but also to just make people more aware of the movement we were trying to spread and what our ideas and our missions and goals were. I eventually became vice president of that same organization as a sophomore. In doing so, worked very intricately with student government because the vice president's job to make sure that we have funding for trips and for conferences. And that's when I first became exposed to how Senate works, how legislative works, how bills are processed, and all that. And then, of course, in my sophomore year, I joined my great fraternity, Beta Theta Pi. That has been one of the best experiences of my life. And without those guys, I don't know where I'd be right now. But those are the organizations I'm proud to support.
Aside from volunteering UCF, I'm a sister of Pi Beta Phi, which has taught me a lot about myself and how to give back to the community. I also started my involvement with UCF and the Lead Scholars Program, where my freshman year I was a member, and then my sophomore year I was a peer mentor, so I had the opportunity to mentor the incoming freshmen. I also served as the professional assistantship person to Plan Leadership Week, which we brought back to the university after I had been missing for about 4 years, so that was a great opportunity. I've also most recently joined Hillel, especially after coming back from our Birthright trip in December, which was an amazing experience being a part of Israel and seeing the culture there. And ever since then, I rediscovered a lot of things about myself and made sure that I'm giving back to that organization, and I've been there since I came back.
Good things.
Okay. Next question. Okay. What do you feel is the biggest problem facing registered student organizations now, and how would your administration go about addressing it?
One of the greatest issues is just the lack of resources that they have, and the fact that they just feel sometimes unwelcomed or that they don't have the opportunity to get those things. One of the huge things that this administration has done for OSI was letting the agencies use the pay grades to advertise our events. And I think that student government can continue that theme and use it to further promote other events from other organizations, whether it's through the SGA Extra part of the website or with the A-frames, as well as we spoke briefly about an SGA OSI workroom in the student union. So that would allow, for a lot of the registered student organizations don't have cubicles. With over 420 organizations, 420 are in the actual office. So we want to create an environment in the union where they can go and have not only meeting space, but storage space, because a lot of times they don't have a designated spot on campus. I'm fortunate with Volunteer UCF that I can come to school, put all of the VUCF needs there as well as my school needs, and this would be a great opportunity for organizations to have that as well.
I think, to tag along with that, I think one of the issues that we see with student organizations are being sustainable, and actually student organizations continue to grow. And one thing that we definitely need to do is make sure that we spotlight organizations, continue to do that, to make sure that we are helping promote organizations' mission, because it's going to be us that help put them out in the light, help for members to join those organizations. Also, as well as the small things, because we've been getting complaints from student leaders about when they ask to go to a room, they might not have the necessary equipment that they need, microphones, HDMI outlets and inputs, computers, laptops, whatever. It's making conversations with the union, talking to people we need to talk to, say, hey, these organizations need this, let's make sure we have this for the organization, so we have effective and efficient meetings.
Okay.
I think the two things that I know my Katz myself have seen definitely with part of being Senate is definitely funding and storage for organizations. With funding, I've been the vice chair of the conference registration travel. He's been the chair and both vice chair of conference registration travel. Within Senate, we have over $400,000 that goes out to conferences for students. We have over $225,000 that goes out for RSOs to use for on-campus events, for speakers and stuff. And I think we have a big problem within Senate, definitely with the streamline, definitely with the whole process. It gets very confusing for student organizations. They get very confused. As the pro temp, as the vice president of Senate, my main job is to connect the senators to the RSOs and put that face. And a lot of the times the senators really don't do what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm kind of that front person, kind of that first person they come to, oh, I don't know who my senator is, who I need to talk to. I'm always that one, every day in the office I'm talking to at least 5 to 10 different RSOs every day, helping them with the funding process. So being able to streamline it, be able to make it a lot more easier and efficient for them. Also with the storage for organizations, like Cortez was saying, organizations, their mission is the one thing that we need to be sticking to, because some of these organizations that you guys have seen were over 450 different RSOs. And storage, we've had an organization, T20 Nights and over summer, and they had their different video games, and they, it comes to $8 and it's where we put these, we can't take it home, we need to keep it in place. Something that we're actually doing in Center right now, we're passing, it's called the IMO, the Inventory Management Office space. Basically, we want to have a space that we can keep all these different organizations items in, so that way they're kept safely, they're kept tracked, so ASF, if we ever get audited or anything, we know where they are, we'll have someone there, we'll have the authorized officers be one of the only ones to check it out for the organizations for whenever they need them.
And just to touch off of that, one thing that I've seen recently is organizations will come in and they'll come into the CRT and FAO committees looking for money, and they've been completely misinformed. They have no idea what they can get, what they can use, stuff such as that. So, for instance, one thing that I wanted to change was the front desk workers. Sometimes they don't understand the difference between CRT and FAO or what they can do with each one. So if we're able to better train our staff so that they know where to send organizations and how organizations can best use their funding, then that would help out the RSOs as much as possible. And just going off of IMO, I've seen so many organizations come into the FAO committee looking to get funding for certain items that would benefit their organization, but when we ask them where they're going to store them, they have no idea because there is no place where they can store them. So the IMO would create this area where all these organizations can keep everything and store it safely, where they can use it to better their organization and make it the best that they can be.
When it comes to funding, I do agree that personnel on the front desk need to be more informed, but I don't think you can put the blame on the person on the front desk. When it comes to funding, especially for RSOs, you have to look at senators. Like senators, their job and responsibility is to help out organizations when it needs funding, and that all goes back to the training and making senators accountable. So, and that goes back to the Senate leadership and making sure that you have Senate leadership, they're making senators accountable. So I mean, I agree front desk needs better training, but I think it's our Senate that we need to make sure that we really drive home the message that they need to be the ones doing their jobs.
Thank you. Okay, next question. We'll go to Katz. Do you think student government is doing enough to encourage students to join registered student organizations to start a program?
No, I really don't think student government is doing enough to do that, because what I see from student government at this point is they keep getting their own name out there, as in join student government or come to this student government organized event, but they're not really doing anything to advertise other events for other student organizations. So something that I thought would be really cool is if we created one central place where you can see every single event that is going on campus, that everyone has awareness of what's going on campus, because there's events all around campus right now, and we're sitting in this room and we have no idea that they're even happening. So if we create this awareness to go out, check out these organizations, then students will get more involved in campus and in turn see what student government does for that organization.
I agree. I think SGA can do a lot better of a job with reaching out, with getting people involved within, not with just SGA, but within RSOs too. I know OSI does a great job with getting people involved within different agencies and departments like that, but I think OSI and SGA can definitely collaborate a lot more with each other. I know OSI has been really working a lot with fixing how to create an RSO, because I know it's a long, lengthy process. I know OSI is doing a great job with getting a lot done, but I definitely think that OSI and SGA can probably collaborate a lot more with each other, because I feel like that's something that really hasn't happened a lot. And we're both two great things that we just combine together, we definitely get a lot done. I know within Senate, one of our committees, the CRC Campus Relations Committee, we've been working really hard to, not more so getting people involved in RSOs, but trying to get the events out there. Every time someone comes through FAO and has an on-campus event, we try to make a big calendar, at least within for our senators, to make sure to go out there and reach out to those RSOs and attend their events, because we're the ones approving them. We're the ones sitting through Senate, approving their bills, approving their allocations for all these different types of events. So it's good for us as a senator to go out, reach out to the RSOs, and show, put that face and name of the senators and who we are as SGA leaders.
I definitely do think student government can do a better job in asking people and making sure that people are joining organizations and encouraging them to start their own. I think that the thing you have to do, though, is make sure it goes beyond advertising, in my belief. I think you have to make sure you have an engaged student population that knows that they can do it first, knows that there are organizations or interests out there that they can be a part of, and then if there aren't, make sure you give them the process to effectively and efficiently and very easily create an organization. I know there was a point in which we had a time where we were backed up in student organizations being built, and as Attorney General, when I have to process their student organizations' constitutions to make sure that there's no conflict with the university constitution, I was getting calls from organizations like, why isn't my organization being approved? What is going on? What is happening? And there was nothing I could do about it, but the process was just not being efficient. It wasn't being streamlined at all. So I think we have to work in the process, make sure it's very easy for organizations to come through, and then you will see a lot more students, a lot more people willing to and will want to create organizations and be a part of them. So.
When I think of students wanting to join organizations, I think of two major events that already happen on campus. One is the orientation process, and two is the Court Club Showcase. And I think if student government empowered those organizations even more, working with the orientation team leaders when they have the ice cream social, because freshmen are a huge demographic to outreach to, and making sure that you're helping them by giving them the resources, or even just supporting them throughout the ice cream social, as well as with the Court Club Showcase that happens twice in the year, one in the fall, one in the spring. Those are huge events where all RSOs are set up. And I think sometimes you have to look at the student government leaders. Does everyone know about most of the RSOs on campus, or at least know the resources to who to contact if you don't, or where to look it up and to direct students? So if the leaders knew that, they would be able to help facilitate that process. Because sometimes it's just as easy as when someone comes into an office saying, it just seems like you're really passionate about habitat for humanity and knowing who to contact for that. Or it just seems like you're really passionate about being environmental organizations like Ideas or ECO and knowing where to direct people.
Yeah. I completely agree. You know, I think that OSI has definitely offered so many great opportunities, and like I was saying before, SGA and OSI were just combined a lot more. I think SGA will be able to promote a lot of RSOs. I know, you know, with Club Showcase, I know over 115 RSOs that went to that. I know SGA really wasn't part of it at all. I know myself, I walked around, you know, I introduced myself to a lot of the RSOs, saying, hey, I'm the Senate President Pro Tem Board. If you guys need any help with funding or anything, any questions at all about SGA or about the legislative branch, please just come to my office. My door is always open. You know, with, you know, or also with their different workshops they put on. I went to one of their ones a couple weeks ago that Robert was order. Me and another Senate went there. We had about over 25 RSOs there, and just sitting there talking to me about our presentation about our rules, and that really helps their organizations with how to run their meetings and stuff like that. Afterwards, that so many RSOs come up to me saying, "Oh my God, that was such a great presentation. Can you please come to our organizations?" And I think different stuff like that. Like afterwards, me and ORC Chair Khan, we decided that we wanted to reach out to all certain organizations to give them the opportunity for those Robert Rules of Order. So we sent out an email to all organizations saying, "Hey, you guys feel that your meetings are running efficient. If you're not."
Okay. So the next question will go to Whatley Brill. UCF offers a wide variety of services that students can take advantage of. In your opinion, what service does UCF offer that students should learn more about?
I think one of the great services that UCF has and promotes, and I really do think is going to be beneficial when it's expanded, is the night lanes program. I think night lanes is an excellent service. I think it only promotes safety, lifestyle, and also is very inclusive to people that don't necessarily have, are commuters, don't have a car. They're also able to use a service that is provided by student government, by this university, and able to, I just think we just need to fill the seats, and it's been a great program. I think, excellent idea. I just think students need to learn more about this.
And there's tons and tons of services that I think students need to know more about, but I think a really great one is I think mental health is extremely important to students, and going off that, the counseling center, just the fact that you can go there whenever you need to. It's an easy process. You go for an initial meeting, you just set it up with them. They do a consultation, and then they direct you to a different counselor. It's an awesome service that UCF offers, and I think if more students knew about it, they would take advantage of it.
I think one of the services that's provided from student government, as far as student government, is legal services. I think it's one of the services that's not really known or really even anyone knows about. If you ever get in trouble on campus, if you ever have a roommate problem, if you ever go to an off-campus house and you have a problem with a contract, I know for me, I'm a nursing major. Contracts, I got to take a double look. I need to ask other people for their opinions. If I wasn't involved with student government, I wouldn't know that student legal services was here. I wouldn't know all the great advice they have and everything like that. If you have a problem with anyone, they're always there to help. They're always there to help anything. They'll be able to provide anything that they have. We have lawyers. Last year in ASEP, we actually hired an extra lawyer just to be able to help out with the increased amount of students that are doing about it.
Another thing that I think is an absolutely great service is the CRT committee. I see people all the time who have no idea that you can get $250 to go on a conference. This helps out literally anybody who needs it. So if it were advertised more, out of these 58,000 students, I'm sure there's more than the couple hundred we see each year who really need this service and need that help getting to the conference. That's going to help them graduate, help them get a job later on in life. And going off that, there's also career services, which if you walk in that building, they can help you so much. There's so many different resources that are on campus that students don't know about, and they just need to be advertised. And going off of what they said, Nightlinks is also an unbelievable service, but it just hasn't gotten the recognition yet. And if we keep pushing to make it a better service, then students will start to realize everything that's on this campus, and they'll be able to utilize everything to their advantage, and just everything will work out so much better because there's so many things that they can use that would help out their lives that UCF offers. So it's about advertising and getting the word out there that we have these services.
Legal services and career services are great examples of awesome opportunities for students, and just also making sure that regional and Rosa campuses have those opportunities as well. We have the great SOS positions, the student outreach services, where students serve as liaison and working with those regional campuses and making sure that they have those opportunities. Because we lose the fact, yes, we have over 58,000 students, but how many of those students are on the main campus? We need to make sure, and that's one of our main points on our platform, is that we're outreaching to all the regionals as well as Rosen.
Okay, next question, Katz. The role of the Multicultural Student Center has been changed many times under different SGA presidents. What is your vision for MSC?
With being part of student government the past 2 years, I definitely see MSC grow a lot. If I wasn't here, I know Katz was a little bit before the whole MSC board, all that whole big thing that happened. I've talked to director, I've talked to Melissa Westbrook, I've talked to different people within MSC, and they're growing so much. They're doing so much more programming, so much more different things. I know this year during ASF, we increased their budget up about $40,000. Taste UCF last year was such a great program, was such a great event. I know even this year, I know one of the biggest things was bringing more cultural food, bringing that more ethnicity, and stuff like that. And I know MSC is definitely growing in the right direction. I know it's one of the things that definitely doesn't get as much recognition as it needs to be. And I know that it's definitely going in the right direction, and it's getting a lot bigger and a lot better for everyone like that.
And MSC, I see it growing more and more. I was here when the funding board was cut, and one of the reasons I was in favor of keeping it was because when you walk around campus and you see some of these major large-scale events, it's usually MSC who's putting it on. They have the different things like the KSA block party, and they have all these different events that go through Senate that get passed, and they get so much money for it because they're such great programs, and they have such a huge reach, 2,000 plus students all the time. So these are the major programs. That's why I see MSC continuing to grow, and I think it will continue to have a bigger impact on student life every single year.
Yes, one thing that we want to make sure that we emphasize and encourage is that MSC want to make sure that they feel included within our student government. We never want to create a culture in which it seems that there's a separate or divide between the organizations that fall in MSC and the organizations that are in OSI. So one thing when we're talking about creating a workspace for organizations to come to and work and have their own spaces to do whatever they want to, whether it's like board meetings or any type of collaboration. You put there's no OSI, there's no MSC, like these organizations will all be together. And so that only helps spread this environment, which I know what this organization is doing, I know what this organization is doing. I can now go to that event because I'm more aware of how the organization works, the leaders that are in that organization. I feel comfortable going to that event, and I think things like that helps that. And also, we want to help promote the organizations that fall in MSC. I think block parties, those are great. I've been to them. I think if you help, if SGA helps promote those bigger, large-scale events, more people are going to get excited about them. More people, you're going to start seeing more people that aren't usually going to those events start attending those events. And I think that's what you have to do. I think that's what we're doing.
Sitting on the board of student directors is also very helpful because the Multicultural Student Center also says they're part of they are an agency, or we consider them an agency there. So as long as keeping with the theme of keeping them, like Cortez said, included, because they are great, like King Katz said, they put on the huge events on campus. Right now it's Month of the Woman, and since they've been established in 2002, they've done great things for this campus, and they continue to.
Yeah, I'll take it. I think one of the things that people kind of got a little scared about MSC was how they got into their own office and how they, with ASF, they're kind of under SDS right now. I think that I know within student government, a lot of leaders were kind of concerned about it. Oh, they're not under the ASF umbrella. Oh no, but they're still part of OSI. I know that got a lot of confusing. But at the end of the day, they're still an agency. They're still part of our student government. They're still a part of our OSI. They're still a part of our big events that we put on campus. So I know that was one of the things too, was that we were kind of scared that they were kind of drifting away. They're kind of separating themselves. But I know that's not the case at all. MSC is just growing so much with all the different events that they're putting on that they just needed that extra space. They needed that big support to switch over to SDS and get in that community-based service with all the different types of organizations that they can collaborate better with.
Yeah, and just to touch off that, I love MSC. I think they should be here, and I think they should continue to grow because of all the great things that they do. And if you just walk around campus, you can see how much growth and how amazing they truly are if you just open up your eyes.
Our next question is from the audience, and it will be directed towards the vice presidential candidates. First, how has your involvement in student government prepared you to be the best student body vice president?
My involvement within UCF really, like I said before, really showed me the impact that you can make. But serving as the student director of Volunteer UCF and managing an executive board, like I stated, of the largest one in OSI with over 17 different coordinators has really prepared me for the vice presidential role. as the vice president, you serve as that person that manages the cabinet and you execute your platform. And my leadership experience, I feel, makes me extremely qualified for that. I'm all about empowering individuals to accomplish their very best, and having done so with Volunteer UCF, seeing Nights Give Back reach record-breaking numbers. We finally broke the 1,000 student participation mark, more than we've seen in the past 5 years combined. It's been an amazing experience. Seeing alternative spring break grow into alternative break programs, where we're now offering spring break, but fall break and summer break and weekend trips that we'll be looking forward to doing next year. So seeing the growth that I've been able to do within Volunteer UCF will just show it's a little snippet of what can be done in SGA.
So I've actually been involved in student government back since fall 2009 when I ran on the Unite ticket when I was a freshman as the undeclared senator. So I've seen so much go down in student government that it's just prepared me for this position. And also, the vice president, they break the vote in Senate. So seeing how Senate works and understanding the way it goes through the process, I'll be better trained to understand which way I need to vote if I ever needed to come in. So, because I've been here for so long. Another thing is, since I've gotten here, when I first got here, there was a huge gap dividing exec and the legislative branch. And me moving up from the legislative branch to exec would actually help close the divides so that exec and the legislative branch can continue to work together, and the two of them working together will create so much better programs from student government and increase student government awareness. Another thing is I've been involved in student government as the CRT chair, as the DPT, so I understand what the organizations need from Senate, and I can bring that to exec and explain to them, hey, this is what happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and this is what we need to do now to improve what's been going on so that we have a more successful and a better SGA.
My freshman year, I served on Senate Leadership Council, and then sophomore year, served as a senator. So student government gave me my foundational knowledge for kind of what I wanted to do on campus. So moving on to Volunteer UCF and other organizations on campus really gives me that new perspective and new eyes where I understand the things of SGA, but I also understand student needs and RSO needs and agency needs and how to work with people who aren't just in student government but in other organizations as well. So that perspective and that philosophy will really aid me in not only being the best vice presidential candidate but being a true servant here.
Okay, so the next question is also from the audience, and this is to both, so feel free, President, to speak. And we'll start with Katz. What is your plan of action to get more of the regional campuses involved with the Office of Student Involvement or with registered student organizations?
Well, one thing that we've already started is we started talking to a couple of the SOS advisors at the different regional campuses just to see what we could do as presidential and vice presidential candidates to get their regions more involved in ours. And one thing they said was outreach was the biggest problem that they had, because they feel like they've just been kind of left alone out there, and I have the same feeling too. So one thing we want to do is try and bring student government more to them. Like, we have SGA days in the union downstairs, but what if we had SGA days on different regional campuses? That would make them feel like they're remembered and that they have a say in what goes on our main campus, because everything we do here does affect them in the long run. So if we can bring some of the services that we offer on this campus to their regional campuses, then they would be so happy because they feel so left out right now. And that's one of the main things that I want to talk about.
And just going up Katz a little bit, we're talking to Rosen students. If I ask about 10 Rosen students, about 8 out of 10 of them will be like, what's the first thing you want to change to Rosen? More shuttle times. Expanding the shuttle times. I know they always, I'm not a Rosen student, so I don't personally know mine for myself, but asking every single Rosen student, they always say, the shuttle times, going from back and forth from here to Rosen, it's a long drive, and being able to get more shuttles out there and stuff. I know the regional campus, exactly what Katz says, bringing our services to them. We have over 10, 11 regional campuses. I know last year during elections, I went out to a couple of them to reach out to them, and they didn't even know SGA election was going on. I was like, hey, it's SGA elections, here are the two candidates, here's this party running, here's another party running, here's their platform, pick whoever side you want to go with. They're like, it's SGA elections. What's this? What's this? And it just really upset me. Ever since I've been involved with SGA, this awareness and just knowing all the great services we do, they don't know. And just being able to, exactly like Katz said, just be able to go back and go to the regional campuses and just show them all the great services that we have here to be able to bring to those regional campuses. Because even though they're regional campus, they're still UCF, they're still UCF Knights, and they're as much the student as we are as they are.
Whatley Brill.
The most important thing when you're thinking about regional and Rosen campuses is you have to be proactive. Right now, me and Cortez have tours scheduled with all the regional as well as the Rosen campus so that we can see. It's hard to understand because like we harp on that you need that individual student attention. So it's hard for someone who's not a Rosen or a regional campus student to understand that. We are looking into having, I know that they currently did this year, but having buses and even extending that for the major events on campus. Because Spirit Splash, one of the biggest things, they want to be able to come, so having that again, and other major ones that are going on. Providing the services, we spoke about that earlier in the debate, making sure that they know about it. And if they don't know about it, bringing some of them to those campuses. I know a big thing I spoke with Alexis Dempsey is the print lab situation right there. They don't have it completely set up and that they're missing one computer. So that they need that. That's one of the things, that's one of the best services that we offer, but they don't have them all there. The candidates also need to have knowledge about what everything is, what SOS is, what they do. And the biggest thing is I've had experience serving as a student director with a volunteer UCF, working with those regional campuses and Rosen campuses. We've had sites at those locations for Knights Give Back so that we understand the importance of including them and what it can do, because now we work with them every single year. So it just shows a little outreach goes a long way.
Yes. Just going off that is we plan on touring all these regional campuses too, and we also have tried to go out to the College of Medicine for grad students because that's also another regional campus that's usually completely ignored. And another big thing with Rosen is my roommate actually goes to the Rosen campus and he comes back and tells me all the problems because I'm in SGA, and they continue just to receive no support. So if we can go out there and we can see it, I'm one of the few people who's actually gone out and seen Rosen campus. It's beautiful out there. It's a great campus. And I want to bring everything that we have on this campus to their campus too, along with all the regional campuses, so that they all feel like they're involved in the UCF Knights division.
Thank you. All right, next question. The Graduate Student Assembly has been a recent hot topic for debate. What is your view of the Graduate Student Assembly?
As a senator, I actually voted in favor of the Graduate Student Assembly. So my support comes way back from talking to Senator Ford when he was a senator and developing that plan and what his envision for that program was. I do believe that at this point, with the problems and issues that graduate students are facing and that they have continuously brought up and are concerns to them, the Graduate Student Assembly, I do believe is something that is necessary to be able to meet those concerns. My only issue is that we make sure that we go about it in a smart way. I want to make sure that we create an assembly that's going to sustain itself if that is what the students want, which has been voted on. We just have to make sure we implement it in a smart way. I don't think it's anything that should be rushed. I don't think it's anything that should be done short-sighted. I think you have to look at the long-term initiative and long-term goals of the assembly and make sure you create a foundation for the assembly that lasts not only 1 year, 2 years, and then crumbles. We have to create an assembly that's going to last like the Senate, which lasts 44 years, 50 years, 60 years, and beyond.
It's actually kind of funny, but not what Cortez was saying. Actually, when the GSA first bill came through Senate, I was actually against it at first. It kind of scared me at first, to be honest. I'm the type of person I want to make sure everything's good in the inside before we branch out. Over the year, though, with being involved in Senate, I've learned a lot. As an undergrad, when you just sit down and you have these conversations with all these different graduate students, within the past couple of weeks, Katz and myself, we've had numerous hours and hours and hours of conversation with grad students to really see what they truly need. This GSA is just more than, I know one of the biggest concerns is ASF dollars. It's more than just funding. It's so much more than that. UCF as a whole, our research is just growing so much. Just sitting down, with the support of the Bill of Rights, the support of the Grad Center, it's all these different things that, as an undergrad, I was first like, you don't need this, you don't need a separate GSA, we're Senate, we're student government. But it's just one of those things when you just sit down and have those conversations with them, you really do learn so much about them.
Yeah, and I actually was in favor of it ever since it came through Senate, and I'm still in favor of it today because biggest problem I've seen is they come in and they have their needs, but their needs have been ignored, and they're trying to speak and work it out. And yeah, I don't agree with everything that they say, but I do agree with the GSA as a whole, and that's why I want to work with them to create something that doesn't only work for them, but works for the school as a whole. So if we sit down with them and we understand what they need from us, then we can give it to them. It's just a matter of having a conversation and figuring out what the best way to do things for us and for them is. And the major thing is they're having all these problems that us undergrads don't understand, such as getting patents, their Bill of Rights, all these different things. Me as an undergrad, I don't understand, and right now they don't have that legitimacy where they can come out and make these decisions that affect them and help them with the administrators, which is why they need this GSA to give them legitimacy and to help them out so that they can accomplish what they need to accomplish.
You know, as a senator, one of the things, you know, going on what Cortez said is that it was being rushed. You know, over summer, you know, there wasn't many senators, there wasn't many representation of students as a whole. But the one thing is that it wasn't rushed. This hasn't been a rushed thing. If you look at their timeline, if you look at the grad students, they've been working on this for over 6 years now. It hasn't been a rushed thing. And, you know, that's one of the things that we kind of didn't fully understand. So it is something that they've been wanting for a really long time now.
Yes, please. I do agree, and I think one thing that I believe King said that is very accurate is that if we're looking at GSA, it should not all be about money. I think the one thing, their biggest concern is that they just have a shared governance in the process, and that their viewpoints are being handled by someone who does understand the issue. I've read the entire graduate Bill of Rights. I think there are very simple things in this Bill of Rights that they just want to make sure somebody of government are able to take care of. There are things on here that we can take care of as a student government agency now, but our association, I'm sorry, but there are also things that go beyond our scope as well. And it's little things as far as like not being exploited by faculty. You know, there's some times in which they might sign a contract in which they must work 20 hours or something. They only pay for 20 hours, the faculty is making them work 60. You know, it's things like that that we need to help and, you know, help GSA become simple so that they are able to take care of those issues. So.
Thank you. Okay, the next question comes from the audience. I know we'll Katz first. What does your slogan mean to you? How will it bring change to the university?
Okay, our slogan is challenge everything, and it means challenge everything. And before you can accept the challenge or challenge everything, you need to first rise to the challenge. You know, within student government, for the past couple of years within the executive branch, you've kind of seen the same leaders over and over again. And one of the things is you get that group thing. You get those leaders that they're not really reaching out to other people to be able to really make a huge difference. You know, me and Katz were very involved people within student government, within the legislative branch, and being able to move to the executive branch, I think would make that difference, would make that impact. You know, for myself, you know, I want to be, you know, as much as I want to challenge everything, I want you guys, I want the students to come up to me and challenge myself. These past couple of weeks, I've had conversations with students, I've had conversations with student organizations, and, you know, I'll ask them questions, but I also want them to challenge me. Or, you know, why do you do this? Why do you do that? Challenge me. Challenge us, and I want to challenge you guys, you know, as students and as us as SGA leaders.
It means everything to me, just because you walk around day to day and sometimes you don't really realize what's going on. So we're asking you guys to rise to the challenge. Challenge us as your leaders of your campus. Not only us, but everyone in student government, everyone in your organizations. Challenge them to be the best that they can be and bring you where you want to go. Because without you guys, we would be nothing. There's 58,000 students, and we want to be there for every single one of them, because if they have certain needs, we want to be that challenge. We want to rise to that challenge and do it for them. We want to be there for them. So it's up to you guys. Like, are you guys going to challenge everything, or like just keep going on day to day and not even recognize some of the problems that are on your campus that you go to school at?
Our slogan is Your Vision, Our Mission, and focusing on the Your Vision aspect first. Cortez and I have varied involvement within the University of Central Florida campus, and that just shows how your vision, whether it's from an RSO standpoint or it's from an agency standpoint or student government, is what your vision is, and speaking to those individual students and understanding them. It's not only the ones that we don't understand, but the ones that we've had experience with, and incorporating that into our mission. Constantly, if you see us, we've spoken to countless students about what they want out of this university, what their experience is about, because that's what's most important, is the 58,000 students. Not the 2 people sitting in the office. Those are the people who are going to execute what you want, and we want to make sure that, you know, you can't just classify UCF students. For example, if you just look at the junior class, you're looking at transfers, you're looking at those transfers, non-traditional students, you're looking at people who are out-of-state residents, people who lived in Orlando the whole time. You need to individualize that to every single person. And having servant leaders such as ourselves is really what will make that happen, incorporating everyone's wants so that you can really get the college experience that you came here to have. And also not just having a platform that just ends when you get elected. It's something that's a living document that you can talk to us. It's not something that, you know, we're going to close the doors and that's all you have to every day, because my needs are going to change from today to tomorrow, and so are yours, no matter what age you are, no matter what part of UCF you're involved with. And understanding that it can't just be a solid thing, it's a constant changing thing, and incorporating everyone and making that what you want so that your vision would be our mission.
I think Rachel touched on some very good points. The whole aspect of our slogan is the point that we're only two minds, but collectively, as a body, as a student body, and as colleagues, we bring a lot more to the table than our two minds combined. And also, it's what type of leadership you want. What type of leaders do you want? Do you want leaders that go about and do anything or everything, or do you want servant leaders who are going to do what you want to see? Do you want leaders that are going to do specifically what we want, or do you want leaders that are going to take your needs, take what you want, cater to the students who are their constituents, and implement and make sure that your vision is truly comes accomplished through our mission? So it's all about servant leadership, and it's all about making sure that constituents are heard and doing what constituents want.
Okay. So basically, I've learned a lot being the president of my fraternity, just because there's a time where you have to realize that you got elected to that position, and for this, from the second you start getting those 500 signatures, you've joined something that's bigger than yourself. You've joined something that's 58,000 strong. And in my fraternity, sometimes I want to go one way, but when everyone else wants to do something else, you have to realize, hey, maybe I'm doing things wrong. Maybe they're right. You have to take a step back and realize that you're there to serve them, and that they elected you to lead them. So that's why I challenge everything is so important, because we have to take that step back as student body president and vice president and realize that we're here serving those 58,000 students. And that's why those students need to come up and challenge their diversity, challenge their traditions, challenge us as their leaders, and challenge everything to create a much better campus than what we have right now.
And this will be the final question of the afternoon. Which part of the UCF creed of integrity, scholarship, community, creativity, and excellence do you think your administration would identify with most?
I don't know about identify with most, but I can tell you separately and combined. Personally, I think that integrity is a huge importance in our administration. I think that we want to be the administration which students don't question our actions. Students don't have the need to question our actions, because we're going to be open, we're going to be transparent, we're going to be doing things that students want to see anyway. So it's not like students are going to be like, what are they doing? Because everything that we do is going to be an open book, open record, and that we are going to lead with integrity, being honest, just being out for it, and being good people. So
I think you could all probably take a wild guess of what mine would be, and that would be community. So it's just, making sure that it's not, we're the second largest school in the nation. That is an incredible honor to have. And within our platform, we have tons of points that touch on making that impact, not only with the student experience, but being a force in the nation. Having UCF recognized for our service initiatives, not only with students, but with one of our platform points is having the Campus Kitchens project brought to UCF, which is taking all the leftover food from the student union to Einstein's Marketplace and distributing them to local homeless shelters in the Orlando area. Something like that where our university would just be like, wow, they are doing great things, not only for the student experience, but for the community as a whole. And the best thing about me and Cortez is just the fact that, in combining, we represent really all tenets of the creed. But if you were to combine that community and integrity and make that just community integrity, something of that nature, that would really be what our administration represents to us.
Basically, ever since I've been here, I've received this question over and over again. And I personally don't actually like to choose one, but just say all of them, because that's why they're there. It's not there to focus on one and be like, oh, I want to follow integrity today. I live my life by doing all these things because they're such great things. Why would I choose one that I want to envision the most when I can live my life by all of them? and become that greater person, become that great leader that I want to be. Therefore, I'm not going to say, one, I'm going to live my life by all of them. I'm going to tell you guys that I care about this community. I care about all the service projects that we do. I care about integrity. I don't want anyone to be questioning us on anything because we're going to have that transparency. We're going to have everything where the students look at us and go, wow, those are the best president and vice president that we've seen in the last 4 years or 5 years. They're doing such a great job that I want to be like them, and I want to step up to that challenge, and I want to follow in their footsteps and join what they've created for us.
And just going up Katz, I agree. As an individual, and as everyone in this room, everyone has their own values. Everyone has their own core values that they want to keep for themselves. When I came to UCF, those 5 of the creed became my values again: integrity, community, scholarship, excellence, creativity. That is now my thing. I live that every day. Every organization you join, you have your foundation of values, and then you add on to whatever you get a part of. So when I became a UCF Ignite, when I came here in summer of 2009, I took on all this. I took on the whole entire creed. I mean, yeah, like exactly what Katz said. Integrity. We want to see the community. We want to see the scholarship. All the scholarships that SGA provides. But without all of them together, then you just need all of them.
Would you like to actually?
20 seconds. I'm just a little confused because I know your slogan is challenge everything, but you just say you don't want students challenging you or questioning you. I just think that's a little bit, just a little conflicting. That's all I want to say.
Challenge accepted.
All right. So that will end our debate for today. Thank you everyone for coming to our first presidential and vice presidential debate. Our next debate will be held on Monday, March 19th at 7 p.m. in the Tri-Delta House. We were unable to get to all the questions that you guys submitted. There were really great ones here, so we're going to hold them over and we'll ask them at one of our next debates. So if you submitted a question that wasn't asked, you don't have to fill out a new form. I still have them. Candidates, feel free to stay afterwards and meet your voters, and please partake in the refreshments in the back. We have a lot left over. Thank you.
Thank you.